Okay, hello again. This is Roscoe. Anyway, it was mentioned to me, the Olfoundryman was showing how he did his flasks and how they were made, and I mentioned I got another one of this series I got to make that's bigger than this one. So he recommended I do a little talk about mine, give you guys different ideas. So this is basically it. This is a smaller of the three. I got one size bigger that I'll show you in just a second that I got to make. I got some of the pieces cast already. And I'll go a little bit into construction method and a couple other things I do for flasks to get them all to work. So this is a smaller one. This is a 7 by, now it's about 7 this way by 8 this way. Next size up is a, let's see, it's a, shoot, I should have looked. Same width this way, so it's still a 7, and this way it was 9, so it'd be that much longer, roughly. And the next one I'm going to make would be a 9 by 12. So, but anyway, this is the casting's made, the flask's ready to go. How I use it, to do it simply, I use the pins up for the drag. So in this case, this is drag half of the pattern. I put all my patterns, as many as I can anyway, on match plates. So since that's a drag, this would go on like so. This goes like so. I clamp it on the edges. I can ram, then I flip it over this way. I'll ram the drag up, flip it over, install the down sprue, ram this side up. Then the only thing I got to do is cut the basin in there and it's ready to cast. That's why I mount everything on a match plate, and I put the pins up because here I can grab this way and use the pins as a guide to get it up far enough. Pull it off, set that to the side. Same thing, use the pins, guide it off the drag, and it's ready to go. So, a little bit about the construction is, let's put this off the side. For this size flask, here's the pattern, and so this is the end piece, this is the sides, so I can make 2 of each of these. Actually I need 4 of each to make cope and drag. And to get the bigger size, I made another side piece, so now I can make this piece a different size flask with that one. And then I made another pin end piece so I can make a different size flask entirely. So with these 4 patterns I can make 3 sizes of flasks. To make sure everything worked the way I wanted it to, I realized that my flasks are only about 2 3/4 inches deep, which is fine for most of my stuff, but I may need upsets. So to cover an upset for the 3 sizes of flasks I'm going to make, these are the upset pieces for it. So this is a side piece. It can be cut where I got these notches. These are the 2 end pieces, and they will fit up. I haven't needed them yet, so I haven't made any castings for them, but they're there if I need them. As far as gating, since these aren't mounted on a board at all, gating is pretty straightforward. I set the 2 pieces like that. Again, I like making my stuff up front, so that goes there, that goes there like that. Then I just got to put the radius in, and on the cope side of the gate I got a riser. For very first set I made, I didn't put a riser on there, and I got a shrinkage, so after that I put a riser on there, and that took care of the shrinkage problem. And that's all there is to it for the patterns. Sometimes I've needed a wood flask because I got some special project I want to do. So for the wood flask, let's see. Now let's show you the other part first. So for the wood flasks, see if you can see that. Yeah. Okay, I make these aluminum ends here. They can all be drilled for screw holes, drilled for pinholes, everything without being on a flask at all. Because one side's a kingpin end, the other side's a slotted end. So it works out, no problem at all. It's machined here on the bottom. Not really machined, just basically run across the sander to smooth this up. And if I needed to, for the pin side, I could mill this off and have a nice flat surface there for it. But I don't really need to do that because I don't put a nut on it. So anyway, this is a pattern to make those pieces. So I make 2 at a time. So I get 2 molds and I can get enough end pieces to make 1 set of flasks. And these go on. This is a follow board here. Hasn't been used in a while. So this is a follow board here. These go on like so. They sit down. This is exactly square, so I don't have to mess with doing any real machining on it. And this is a gating system I use on it. Straightforward, there's no riser needed on these, and they cast up just fine. So those are my flask setups. I use, as far as pins for all of them, I use 3/8 and half hardened Allen screws, or Allen bolts. Are basically an axle bolt. And what I do is, of course, I cut the end off here and grind it down to the taper you see on there. So that would fit in there like so. I don't have anything in there. I put them on with a pair of vice grips. If you really want them locked in solid, use some Loctite, screw them in, and they're good. They'll be there for a long time. So that's my flask setup. If I finish just 1 set of flasks, I'll go through the machining process that I do. That's pretty straightforward. I just do a setup, drill these 2 holes through the end pieces, clamp the whole thing together, drill through this into the sides, thread the sides, put the screws in, and it's done. As far as square goes, because I'm not dealing with 45s on the ends, everything comes up square anyway. So that's what I got going on with these. And they fit together, they don't rock. And when I screw them together permanently, I just kind of set it down on a table. And like I said, I'll get into the machining. Basically, it's pretty straightforward. I clamp it up like this in the machine. Take a skin cut off of here till I just get a witness right here as the cast surface. Everything beyond it is cleaned up. And after I get one side, I machine the side with the gate first. Flip it over, clamp it to the table, and machine this side off. And it's pretty straightforward there. If you don't have that, there isn't enough material on here to worry too much about. You could hand file the whole thing, but I got a mill, so I utilize it. So that's about it. So far, knock on wood, everything works. And I got Need the bigger flask for one more project, which I might get into. So that's it. Let me know what you think. If you guys are interested, I will get started on getting some castings made and maybe get them in the machine. So this again would be a several part series, I guess. So that's about it. Let me know what you think and we'll go from there. Thank you. Goodbye.